Hello and welcome to the Designer Market Update. Today is Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. So if you are brand new to this broadcast, my name is Steven Zeiner, and I've been something of a long time shareholder evangelist of sorts for Stronghold Digital Mining, which is a Bitcoin mining company that's publicly traded and that is in the process of being acquired by Bitfarms. Since my beloved Stronghold Digital Mining is being acquired by Bitfarms, I will, to a degree, be something of a champion for Bitfarms. Now, as I've mentioned in the past, for those of you who have been around a while, I want to make these broadcasts far more structured and hopefully not lose sort of the camaraderie that you and I have developed over these many years. So for the next couple days here, it's going to be prototyping this. So let's get started first and foremost with a spot check of where Bitcoin's at, where hash prices are at, and the network hash rate. So Bitcoin was trading at around $97,500 at last check, which was probably around, let's call it maybe around 2:15 this afternoon. Hash prices were only at around $56 a petahash. That they seem to have peaked out at around like $64 back in December. And so hash prices, from my perspective, are not that great. However, the network hash rate, understandably, right, this correlates with the network, this correlates with hash prices being where they're at. The network hash rate is like over 800. So the higher the network hash rate, typically speaking, if the price of Bitcoin is roughly staying about the same, hash prices are going to be lower, and that's not good for Bitfarms or really any company within the publicly traded Bitcoin mining ecosystem. Okay, speaking of companies within the publicly traded Bitcoin mining ecosystem, let's turn our attention to what's happening in the markets, at least as of right now. And I ask you to bear with me again. I am experimenting with a new format here, and so I don't have this quite down to programmatic science just yet. So you're going to see this be a work in progress. And I hope that you'll take some inspiration from this if you're somebody who creates content or enjoys doing new things. Sometimes you don't have to have it fully perfect before you actually just go ahead and start doing it, right? Okay, speaking of Stronghold Digital Mining, let me take a screenshot of this because I do want to share this then on the broadcast if I'm able to. Stronghold Digital Mining is in the rocket ship position, so to speak, up over 8.8% today. Argo Blockchain, which is a company I've noticed has been struggling a bit. Their share price just hasn't been doing so well. They're doing quite well today, up about 5 cents to about 62 cents or so a share. And then finally, Bitfarms is in the lightning bolt position. At least this is intraday. At the end of the day, this new little dashboard I'm creating will, award a sort of a gold, silver, or bronze medal, depending on how a company finishes. But that's only if they finish in positive territory. If they're in negative territory, those medals will probably be slanted or like sort of sideways, because who gets a gold medal for, being down 2%, even if that was like the best performer in the sector, right? In the so-called stone cold bottom position is TeraWulf. They're down about 5% today. I will say this, since our last broadcast last year, a lot of these stocks have really taken a beating. I mean, certainly Bitfarms at $1.59 a share. That's kind of, that's very discouraging, right? If you're somebody who got in a little over $2 a share or even higher, and you're like, wait a minute, now we're at $1.59. What's going on? We're going to be now turning our attention. We're going to kind of zoom away from what's going on with publicly traded, Bitcoin mining companies in general. And now we'll move into our third segment, which is going to actually zoom in on Bitfarms, who they had a news release today. Sorry for all the glare. I printed this on white paper. I'm going to just kind of go over some of the highlights. I'm going to link to the news release in the description to today's broadcast so you can read it at your own leisure. Basically, the company, it seems as if though, and again, I don't want to just read this on camera, and I have not as of yet really highlighted the key points here, but I'm just going to kind of highlight what they highlighted at the very top here. First and foremost, the acquisition of Stronghold Digital Mining is on track to close in Q1 2025. So basically between now And March 31st of this year, Stronghold will become a part of Bitfarms, assuming everything goes as planned. Now, insofar as the company's hash rate, it appears to have increased to about 12.8 exahash. I'm going to look at their website. Let me just double check something here, because Bitfarms is quite good at actually updating their website with the latest sort of like stats as to where they're at, like as a company. So yeah, it's showing 12.8. That's where they ended the year. 12 operational data centers and an efficiency of 21 joules per terahash. So on that front, pretty much, again, I understand, and Ben, the CEO, acknowledges. He says, look, at 2024 was a transformative year for Bitfarms. While we did not meet our original growth targets, we accomplished a tremendous amount during the year. We doubled our hash rate and improved efficiency by 40%, upgraded 11 data centers, increased active megawatts by 35%, ramped and strengthened our board of directors and management team, assumed control of our first U.S. large-scale site in Sharon, Pennsylvania, with access to up to 120 megawatts. And then finally, of course, negotiated a settlement to a hostile takeover attempt and announced our proposed acquisition of Stronghold Digital Mining, which represents the largest acquisition between two public companies in the Bitcoin mining sector. I am so incredibly proud of the fact that Stronghold managed to work out a deal with Bitfarms so that these tremendous, amazing assets, I can't help myself but get excited when I talk about Stronghold. Their operations, I think, are phenomenal. I think being a part of Bitfarms is just going to add fuel to that potential growth engine. And I am really excited to see how Bitfarms fully deploys, both Scrubgrass out in Western Pennsylvania and Panther Creek here in Eastern Pennsylvania. Okay, where are we on our time? Because I do want to try to keep these broadcasts close to 7 minutes, and we're kind of reaching the very end of that 7-minute mark. Typically, if there weren't any specific news regarding Bitfarms, I might then go into some other related topics to Bitcoin. But for today, let's wrap up the broadcast, and I'm going to share a quote from a little book called Seize the Day, The Best View Comes After the Hardest Climb. I'm just going to kind of turn to a random page here and just read what it says here. Okay, so I'm going to read what it says right here. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. And that's evidently a quote by Theodore Roosevelt, who, if I'm not mistaken, was a president of these United States of America. Okay, my friend, I hope that this new year finds you well. I'm looking forward to further refining and developing these broadcasts, and I genuinely appreciate your support. So if you feel so inclined, I would appreciate you liking this broadcast and subscribing if you have not already done so. Okay, my friend, until tomorrow, let's stay positive, let's be great, and we will see each other again then.